Lyle and Eric Menendez may have another day in court. We talked about this case, I think, late last year after a former Menudo member, Roy Reselio, came out in a documentary talking about the abuse that he allegedly endured under Jose Menendez, the father of the Menendez brothers, sexually abusing him in the 1980s. Other members of Menudo have also come forward with similar accusations. And so did the brothers. The problem with the brothers having those accusations that never saw the light of day in court on their retrial. And now they're spending the rest of their lives in jail. But it's going to be examined a little bit further. There's a new documentary, or a new docudrama, rather, coming out from the makers of the Dahmer docudrama that's going to be examining this case. Joining me to discuss, Bob Motta, defense attorney, host of the podcast Defense Diaries. Go and press subscribe to that wherever you download podcasts after you're done listening to this. What's your thoughts? A habeas corpus petition has been filed. District attorney reviewing it right now. Decision on the new trial still to come. Where do you think this is going to go with this new evidence, the letters also that have been weighing in on this that never saw the ears of a jury?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting. I don't know if it's going to be legally sufficient to get him a new trial, but it certainly casts the brothers in a different light.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? I mean, it casts his father in a much different light, and the mother as well, because the the reality is if mom's aware of what dad's doing
Hmm.
and not doing anything about it,
Yeah.
and it's like I don't know. I just, but it's got to be legally sufficient enough for the court to say, all right, I like this isn't a harmless error. Like this is something that would have changed the trial.
Yeah.
Had this come in, and maybe it would,
Well,
maybe it
isn't that what
would.
is that the whole case was about, essentially? The brothers wouldn't have done this had they not been sexually and horribly abused for all
Right,
of those years. But that
right.
whole point was never even brought up in court.
I know, and it's like and I like that trial was so far back that I can't remember if there were motions in limine that barred them from bringing it in. You know what I'm
I
saying?
don't know exactly the reason, but I know first round it was brought in, and then we had a hung jury, and then there was the retrial, and then it was not allowed in on the second retrial. I don't know the answer to that, but I do know how horrible the music industry is, and what that was certainly like back then, far more even than what it is today. And you have
Oh
all
yeah,
these members of this band and other people who had worked with him that said the same sort of shit, that this is,
yeah,
it's a predator, and he loved, having kids and kid groups. I mean, look how many times Menudo was reinvented
right,
over the years, and they're all hanging out at this guy's house in swimsuits and all this shit. I mean, it's not a hard story to believe, but
right. No, no
yeah,
question. I mean, I think ultimately it boils down to, I mean, still, isn't that vigilante justice? You know
it
what I'm
is.
saying? I mean, doesn't it kind of boil down to that, really?
I agree, but would this be charged the same way today? Would I mean, and then them be going away for the rest of their lives without the chance of parole, especially with
No,
those pieces not going into the trial itself. I mean, those are
no.
so key. I mean, I could see 10 years, 20. I mean, think of Gypsy Rose. She got
Yeah,
what, 10 years or something.
right.
Yes, it was somewhat vigilante justice, but there was a reason for it. Horrific abuse for so
Yeah.
many years. We have battered spouse syndrome. That too. I mean, that gets taken into consideration. I just, if this thing were tried today, I don't know that we'd see anywhere near the same outcome, or really a
Well,
lot
I
worse
don't think
difference.
that I don't think that they would charge him the same for
Yeah.
certain. Like in this day and age, it's like you said that like that's light years back in time. Like
Hmm.
I mean, we're talking 20, 30, 40 years. When was that? 80s when that case
Yes.
went down?
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, like we've come a long way, baby, in terms of the way we think
Yeah.
with respect to, especially child abuse.
Yeah.
We've come a long, long way from that. And I think that there's a much greater acknowledgement and understanding that it's something that's pretty prevalent and obviously exceptionally damaging to children.
Mhm.
So, yeah, I think they would have charged it differently. like, I wouldn't be surprised if the state just comes at him and with an Alford plea type offer says,
Yeah.
we'll let you out. Just you gotta have to plead guilty, say that there's enough evidence that we would have, that
Which
we could
they,
secure a
yeah.
guilty verdict. Yeah. I mean,
Because
maybe that's a good option,
because the argument never has been, did they do it?
Right.
They've said that the Menendez brothers have come out and said, yes, we did this, but this is why we did this.
Right.
But the jury was never allowed to hear that. Hey, thanks for checking out the video. Be sure to follow us wherever you download podcasts, and especially Apple Podcasts, where you can get advanced episode and premium content on our premium channel right there. Also, be sure to follow us on social media so you don't miss any breaking updates on the stories that matter to you most. We're on TikTok, X, Instagram, Facebook. Just search Hidden Killers Podcast with Tony Brueski, and you'll find us right there. Again, thanks for watching.